ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्री गुरु दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधव श्री चैतन्य ईश्वर। So yesterday we were discussing on the topic of bhava bhakti, and we saw how bhava can be attained uh, through sadhana, and how bhava can be attained through Vaidhi sadhana. We saw the example of Narad Muni, how bhava can be attained through Raganuga sadhana. We discussed about the girl named Chandrakanta, and today we will, and then we discussed how bhava could be attained through kripa, and we saw three ways the kripa can be received. One is uh, one is kripa through verbal blessing, one is kripa through darshan, like the Lord appears or the devotee may bless us, kripa in that way through darshan, and one is kripa through feeling, heartfelt joy, heartfelt unspoken blessings by the Lord or by the devotees. So now we are beginning. So receiving mercy by speaking. O best of Brahmanas, Narada, I wish that you may develop unalloyed devotional service to me, which is full of transcendental bliss and all auspiciousness. So this is Lord Krishna telling to Narada, and Krishna, this is like receiving mercy through speaking. And Krishna is telling to Narada, I wish you may develop unalloyed devotional service to me, which is full of bliss. So through this verbal, Narada got it in a way. This is receiving mercy through speaking. Example. Then receiving mercy by glancing. When the inhabitants of Jangala province saw the personality of Godhead Krishna, they were so stricken with feeling that they could not withdraw their glance from him. Um, um, Basically, they prayed, Krishna appeared to them. And when Krishna looked at them, then the bhava appeared in the inhabitants of Jangala province. This comes in Skanda Purana. See, it says, so stricken with feeling that they could not withdraw their glance from him. So by darshan, by glancing, Lord by glancing gave all the residents affection for him. The inhabitants of Jangala were not qualified to see the Lord, but out of his causeless mercy, he gave them his darshan. When they glanced upon him, they became stricken with feeling bhava and could not look away from the Lord for a moment. This can happen even with deity form of the Lord. You see the deity form of the Lord and feelings may arise, and the Lord may seem so attractive that you cannot look away from the Lord even for a moment. Um, so that's like by glance, the Lord by glance can awaken feeling in us. By darshan, one can receive the mercy of the Lord. This is a song where it says, where Narottam Das Thakur is praying to Nityananda Prabhu, that please glance upon me mercifully. One glance. Kripa bolo kana koro. And he says, I am very unhappy. But if you glance upon me once, then I will immediately become happy. Um, Then there is another example of Januba Mata and Narottam Das Thakur. This is a devotee example where it was actually the first Gaur Purnima festival. And this is like around 450 years ago. Um, first Gaur Purnima festival. It was happening in Bengal in a place called Kheturi. And Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu, they all departed. This is like few decades after their departure. But Nityananda Prabhu's consort Janva was still on the planet. Um, so during this um, Gaur Purnima festival, Narottam Das, there were like thousands of Vaishnavas they came, all who were feeling separation because of departure of Sri Chaitanya. Um, all the devotees assembled there, and Narottam Das Thakur started leading a kirtan. And when he started leading a kirtan, then Janava Mata glanced at Narottam mercifully. And when she glanced, Narottam Das Thakur went into deep ecstasies. Because Janva Mata is eternal associate of Nityananda Prabhu, Balaram, who is like Revati, or it's like she's, yeah, the energy of Lord Nityananda. So by her glance, she gave the mercy. And when Narottam Das Thakur reached the crescendo of the Sankirtan, that time in the Sankirtan, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, they appeared and they danced with devotees. And when the Kirtan, after some time, suddenly they disappeared. Mahaprabhu was very pleased for that the first Gaur Purnima festival was celebrated. So Mahaprabhu himself came. And all the devotees were in deep ecstasy, crying. Janava Mata was in deep ecstasy, seeing Nityananda Prabhu again come back for some little, like till the Kirtan was going on. That's example of mercy received through glance. Then receiving mercy by good wishes. Krishna or his devotee may bestow heartfelt blessings. Shuka Samhita, that is this book, illustrates heartfelt blessings from Krishna. While still within the womb of his mother, Sukadev Goswami achieved bhav. Since he had not yet come out of the womb to see or hear the Lord, one can surmise that he attained this perfection by the Lord's heartfelt blessing. So we have, this story, where Sukadev entered the womb of Vyasadev's wife. He was not coming out for 13, 14 years, something like that. Then, because he didn't want to be captured by Maya, so he didn't want to come out of the womb. Um, so he requested Krishna to come and give promise. So Krishna came and said, so this is mercy received by good wishes. So it was not by darshan, it was just the Lord desired. Mm. And Sukadev Goswami received bhava even in the womb, it is said. This is Shuka Samhita. Then receiving mercy by, this another example. Um, this is the story when Narad Muni was speaking, like the Devatas were very much afraid of Hiranyakashipu. So when Hiranyakashipu went to do some austerities, then the Devatas went to kidnap or abduct the wife of Hiranyakashipu, Kayadu. Kayadu was pregnant. They wanted to wait for Kayadu to deliver so they can kill the child, because father is so atrocious, then child will create so many troubles. So that time Narad Muni interfered and he told Indra and other devatas that this child will be a great devotee. So then Narad Muni brought Kayadhu, who was carrying, into his ashram, and then he spoke Bhagavatam. And when he spoke Bhagavatam, then um, um, Prahlad became a pure devotee just by hearing Bhagavatam. And Narad Muni desired his good wishes. He desired heartfelt blessings. And by that and desire of Narada is a pure devotee. By that desire, Prahlad Maharaj became a great saint. So this, when Prahlad Maharaj was within the womb of his mother, she was being sympathetically instructed by Narada about the science of devotional service. And at the same time, Narada was wishing that the child within the womb could also take advantage of the instructions. Because Narada, an authorized devotee and great associate of the personality of Godhead, was desiring auspiciousness for Prahlad Maharaj. He developed all the characteristics of high grade devotee. Narada could give. He just desired, may this child receive the blessings, and the child received. So by good wishes, Prahlad Maharaj attained Bhava. Then there is a statement in Skanda Puran wherein Parvat Muni tells Narada, my dear Narada, of all saintly persons, you are so great and glorious that simply by your good wishes, a low-born hunter also has become a great elevated devotee of Lord Krishna. You know, this hunter, Mrigari, and Narada desired that may he become a devotee. So he stopped. This hunter would half kill animal, but because Narada's desire, by good wishes, then later on when Narada came with Parvat Muni, and this hunter he became a great devotee of the Lord. That time, this is in Skanda Puran. That time Parvat Muni told Narada, amazing Narad Muni, your greatness, your glorious. This he was a low-born hunter and he became a great, most elevated devotee of Lord Krishna by your good wishes. Another example. So these are Mrigari did not do any sadhana. Prahlad also not visibly. Prahlad Maharaj, or it is said that they all attain perfection by kripa, including Prahlad Maharaj, Mrigari. That's why they are like mercy received, kripa received through either the glance or verbal or good wishes some way. Um, so then the next topic is what are there are 10 characteristics of Bhava Bhakti. You will like these qualities will be there anybody who has attained the stage of Bhava. So the first is Avyartha Kalatva, constant utilization of time. Avyartha Kalatva. Kala means time. Vyartha means to waste. Avyartha Kalatma means the devotee in this stage never wastes time. He is always anxious to utilize his time in the devotional service of the Lord. He does not like to be idle. He wants service always, 24 hours a day, without deviation. He is always engaged. He is always engaging his words in reciting prayers to the Lord. Within the mind, he is always thinking of Krishna. And with his body, he either offers obeisances by bowing down before the deity or engages in some other activities. Basically, never waste time and constantly serve Krishna, constantly remember Krishna, constantly praise to Krishna. Not even a moment without Krishna conscious. That's the stage of bhava. Then there is perseverance, shanti, to remain tolerant and patient even amidst great disturbance. And this is an example of, there is Parikshit Maharaj here in fire, bitten by a takshak, the flying snake bird. You see here the snake has a wing. So he's a flying snake bird. Um, but Maharaj Parikshit was tolerant and patient. Um, Even we see Prahlad Maharaj, great difficulties now, great disturbances, thrown from cliff, under an elephant, what all difficulties he went through. But he remained tolerant and patient. So this is a quality of a devotee in Bhava. He difficulty comes, he remains patient and he tolerates. This is called Shanti. Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahmana created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. So Maharaj Pariksit said, when the bird comes and puts poison in me, that's fine. It can come whenever it likes. But don't stop glorifying Narayan. Second, then the third quality is detachment, virakti. The senses are always desiring sense enjoyment. But when a devotee develops transcendental love for Krishna, his senses are no longer attracted by material desires. This state of mind is called detachment. Emperor Bharat was so attracted by the beauty of the lotus feet of Krishna that even in his youthful life, he gave up all kinds of attachment to family, children, friends, kingdom, etc., as though they were untouchable stools. Of course, Bharat Maharaj was on stage of Bhava, so that's why he exhibited detachment from kingdom. Usually, any position, attachment is there. Family, children, attachment is there. Friends, whatever. Um, but Bharat Maharaj was so much attracted to Lord Krishna that he didn't care. And then he went to the forest. But it is said he was in Bhava, but still somehow he got attached to a deer, and that became the cause of. Um, um, but still, Bhagavatam says he was on stage of Bhava. Actually, it is said this example is a proof that from Bhava also possibility of fall down is there if one is not careful. At Bhava, one almost have a glimpse of Krishna but not fully awakened. But from there also, there is a chance to get captured by temporary. But prema is like absolute perfection, no fall down possible from there. So the senses are naturally desiring sense enjoyment. Um, but when a devotee, generally, one of the quality of bhava, when he develops that bhava for Krishna, he is no longer attracted by material desires, and his senses are compared to snakes with poison fang removed. So likewise, um, um, the senses are there, but they have no demands. They are not detrimental to a sadhaka. They are very peaceful, and um, that stage of virakti means, so there is a difference between artificial enunciation and virakti. Artificial enunciation is the desire is there, but I don't want it. I'm abstaining from it. Virakti means that desire itself is gone. The mind is completely steady and stable, and fully absorbed in Krishna. That is the quality, another quality. Third quality of a devotee in the stage of bhava. Then there is mana shunyata, pridelessness. When a devotee, in spite of possessing all the qualities of pure realization, is not proud of his position, he is called prideless. Um, the personality who is absolutely prideless, the personality is Lord Krishna in all his incarnation, absolutely prideless, and so are his pure devotees. In spite of possessing all the qualities of pure realization, is not proud of his position, like our spiritual masters. Great. They have all the qualities of pure realization, but no pride of their position, and no pride. Um, One other stage of bhava. Of course, during anarthas, in lower stages, the pride will be there. I'm great. But at the stage of bhava, no. Mana shunyata. Shunya means zero. It's amazing actually. Um, Sometime I think of this. Krishna killed Putana and then he just smiling with Mother Yashoda. Or Krishna killed such demons and then he would again go with his friends. Or he would play and he would talk and he would joke. But there was no sense of pride. See what I did. See, I consumed the forest fire for all of you. See, I just danced on Kalia. It was his pastimes and there's nothing would touch him. Um, Same these pure devotees, na, they do great things, but they remain they remain in absolute humility despite uh, everything. In the Padma Purana, it is stated that King Bhagiratha was the emperor above all other kings. Yet he developed such ecstatic love for Krishna that he became a mendicant and went out begging even to the homes of his political enemies and untouchables. Amazing. He was so humble that he respectfully bowed down before them. Wow. Bhagirath was greatest of all the kings in Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam also Bhagirath king comes. Padma Puran here it is mentioned for Bhagirath. He became a mendicant. He went to the house of enemies and untouchables, and he humbly bowed down to his enemies. And as a mendicant to beg from them, even to his enemies. No pride, being the one of the greatest king, still pridelessness. This example of Lala Babu is there. Lala Babu, I have described this earlier, not going in detail. He wanted to get initiated. Guru said, wait, 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 wait. Then he was living in Vrindavan, Lala Babu. He gave up his business, took all the money. With the money, he built a beautiful temple in Vrindavan. Um, became a beggar in Vrindavan after building the temple. Um, and he would go and beg food and eat, live a very, very simple life. But Guru was not willing to initiate him. Um, Guru would say, you're not ready right now. So I will not give you initiation. Wait for some more time. Wait for some more time. Like this Guru will say. So Lala Babu, uh, one day, based on his inspiration within the heart, Lala Babu also had uh, a competitor, businessman, who also gave up his business and built a temple. Um, um, but Lala Babu never liked that person. But he also somehow, yeah, he was also inspired by Krishna. Gave up his business, built a temple, living in Vrindavan. And every day, this owner of this temple, who was a competitor earlier in kind of previous life, kind of, he would come out every day in the afternoon and serve the beggars food. He would do some Vaishnav seva in that way, some sadhus, feeding the sadhus. Um, he was, like the, the leader of the temple. So Lala Babu would go and beg. It's called Madhukari. But Lala Babu would not go to this temple. Um, but one time Lala Babu went and sat among the beggars. And this um, um, temple owner, whatever, he came out and he was serving food to all the mendicants and sadhus. And then he saw Lala Babu. Lala Babu was also a great personality, very successful man. But when he saw Lala Babu, his heart, Lala Babu, you also sitting here. And Lala Babu says, please give me some food. So this person heart changed. But Lala Babu initially he hesitated to go there. That day Guru called Lala Babu and he says, I came to know that you are ready now. I'll give you initiation today. So Lala Babu exhibited pridelessness, humility. It's hard actually, but Lala Babu exhibited. King Bhagirath exhibited. So these are said because Lala Babu developed that humility because he became very advanced in devotion. When when devotion increases, na, humility will increase naturally. It is said humility can be faked, but how long do we fake it? But real humility arises with the growth in devotion. Real humility arises there. Amazing, actually. This is mana shunyata, one of the characteristics of bhava. We cannot exhibit that. We can try to exhibit that, but it won't be real because it is something that comes by that depth of the heart. Then there is Asha Bandha, hope against hope. I have no love for Krishna, nor for the causes of developing love for Krishna, namely hearing and chanting. I have no love for Krishna. I have no love for hearing about Krishna. I have no love for chanting of Krishna. I have no love for the process of Bhakti Yoga. I am following it, but I have no love, by which one is always thinking of Krishna and fixing his lotus feet in his heart. I am also lacking. That is also lacking in me. I'm not attached to. I cannot fix my heart on lotus feet of Krishna. I cannot think of Krishna always. I don't have taste in hearing and chanting. I have no love for Krishna. But above all, I am not even born of a nice family. I'm not even born in a nice family. So, therefore, I must simply pray to you, Gopi Jana Vallabha, that some way or other I may be able to approach your lotus feet. And this hope is giving me pain because I think myself quite incompetent to approach the transcendental goal of life. So this is an example of hoping against hope. Um, my Lord, I have no taste in hearing. I have no taste in chanting. I have. I cannot fix my mind on your lotus feet. I cannot always think of you. And with this state, coming in front of you and saying, "Oh Gopijana Vallabha, give me love of God." So this is like, what is this? What is my qualification? How can I ask you to give me love? So when I ask you, if I simply pray to you, give me pure love for you, then that is also giving me pain. To ask you this thing is pain. How can I ask such a thing? Where am I? How can I ask such a thing? So there is hope against hope. There is no hope. I can't even ask. I'm ashamed of asking. But maybe you can give me. So this is another stage of, because there is pridelessness, na manashunyata. And devotee in bhava feel they don't have it, they cannot get it. Um, and they're ashamed of asking, and still there is a hope. I'm ashamed to ask, I cannot ask. Still, maybe Krishna may show his blessing. That is hope against hope, ashabandha. That is another characteristic of bhava. All this whole state goes through in bhava stage. When one is very exalted Vaishnava and Krishna is getting awakened, that time he feels no taste in hearing, chanting, lotus feet, bhakti yoga, nothing. Uh, cannot even ask. Maybe. Then there is eagerness. There is great laulya. Laulya ekam api mulyam. Means Rupa Goswami says the price that is required to attain love for Krishna is greed, intense eagerness. Um, this eagerness, is very very rare. But when we develop that eagerness, um, that at the stage of bhava, that eagerness will be there to be with Krishna. That strong longing will be there to be with Krishna, to serve Krishna, to be back to Golok Vrindavan, um, um, and complete virakti or complete detachment to anything here. Everything in this material world seems like, even the most glorious places in this material world seems like Shamshan Ghat, depressing. Everything in this material world, the most glorious place in this seems like Shamshan Ghat to a person bhava. Um, and only Asha is Krishna and Goloka and serving and great longing. Um, that is exhibited at the stage of bhava. I am eagerly waiting to see that boy of Vrindavan whose bodily beauty is captivating. That person is like crying and is captivated by that, and everything else seems like shunyait jagat sarvam. The whole word is like null and void. There is nothing to live for in this world. And completely captivated to that blue emerald beauty. I'm eagerly waiting to see that boy of Vrindavan whose bodily beauty is captivating and who is always eagerly glancing over his devotees. And this blue boy is glancing over his devotees and therefore moving slightly here and there. His eyes are almost moist, like wet eyes, when he's glancing on his devotees. His lips are colored like copper because blue boy with a copper lipstick, copper lips. And through those lips, there comes a sound of vibration which drives one madder than a mad elephant. I want so much to see him at Vrindavan. Bilamangal Thakur is remembering Krishna with his flute, coppery lips, with moist eyes, glancing at his devotees, um, and he's producing a vibration that is um, making everybody mad, madder than the mad elephant. I am just mad for that boy's association with Vrindavan. So this is like stage of bhava, like strong eagerness, attachment, eagerness. Then there is constant attraction to chanting. It is said by one of the associates of Radharani, O Lord Govinda, the girl who is the daughter of King Rishabhanu is now shedding tears and she is anxiously chanting your holy name, Krishna, Krishna. So this is one of the gopis telling. Rupa Goswami quotes. Yeah, Rupa Goswami quotes one of the gopis telling to Krishna that you remember, you know that girl, the daughter of Vishabhanu, she's shedding tears and constantly chanting your name, Krishna, Krishna. So um, there is constant attraction to chant on the stage of bhava. Attachment to glorify Krishna's qualities. I think this is the ninth one. There are 10 characteristics of bhava, something like that. Attachment to glorify Krishna's quality. They are so eager to glorify Krishna. It's just like the mother and father are always desiring to glorify their children. Oh, my son is like this, my daughter is like this, he's like this, he's like this. And they have this attachment to glorify their children. Or one may have attachment to glorify their spouse or to talk about their spouse. One may have that attachment. Why? Because there is some affection there. So they love speaking about them. But then one develops an affection for Krishna and so much attracted to Krishna. Then they love speaking about Krishna. Great example is Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada always liked to glorify Krishna. So Krishna. So when then Prabhupada says the word Krishna, Krishna, like I mean we cannot mimic obviously, but when Prabhupada deeply feel a personal longing, a personal connection, and like devotees, Prabhupada disciple would say, when Prabhupada will speak about Krishna, it feels like Krishna is a person, actually a person, and Prabhupada is trying to glorify and say about him, and he's just like very close to Prabhupada. Prabhupada knows him very well. Just like how you know a person, you're describing that person. Likewise, Prabhupada will speak about Krishna. So it's like very attachment to glorify Krishna's qualities. Attachment for chanting the glories of the Lord is also expressed in Krishna Karnamrita as follows. What shall I do for Krishna, who is pleasing beyond all pleasurable conceptions, and who is naughtier than all restless boys? The idea of Krishna's beautiful activities attracting my heart, and I do not know what I can do. Again, Bilva Mangal Thakur. He's telling his activities are so attractive, everything he does is so much charming to my heart, and he has captured my mind, my heart. I don't know what to do, what I don't know what I can do. So like great eagerness to glorify Krishna's qualities. Then attachment to holy dham. Person stage of bhava has great attraction to holy dham. A pure devotee visits all the places where Krishna's pastimes were performed. The system of circumambulating all these places is still current among devotees of Lord Krishna, and those coming to Mathura and Vrindavan always feel transcendental pleasure. Actually, if someone goes to Vrindavan, he will immediately feel separation from Krishna, who performed such nice activities when he was present there. Such attraction for remembering Krishna's activities is known as attachment to Krishna. Attachment to holy dham. They love going there. They love circumambulating. One time I was reading, and Shivram Maharaj, he has such attraction for dham that he does the whole yatra by walking, and he loves the dham so much. He just walks in the jungles, through different forests, through the inner routes, and when he gets tired, then he sleeps right on the ground, embracing the earth, the dust of Vraja. Then he gets up, he walks, and if some cowherd um, family, uh, some Brajvasis, they give him some chapati, then he takes with such uh, affection and gratitude that I am getting something cooked by the gopis of Vrindavan. In this mood, he would eat with utter humility, and then he would get up and walk, um, and remember what Krishna did here, what Krishna did here. Such great. I mean, if we go, we want to cover everything in 2 days, 3 days, and then go back to our Dharma Kshetra. But here, Maharaj would stay for weeks and months and just doing parikrama and absorbing. And when he goes, then he feels longing, attachment, just like great attachment to holy dham. Great devotees have great attachment to holy dhams. That's amazing, actually. Mm, okay. So these were the 10 symptoms. Okay. Any discussion so far? We discussed 10 symptoms and um, 3 ways the mercy can be deceived. Any questions?
Prabhuji, these qualities of humility and pridelessness, is it like it's always consistent, or like it comes and goes? We have waves of these, right? So those.
At the stage of bhava, they are consistent, Prabhuji. At that stage. Was that your question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Uh, Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tarat Pranam.
Dandavat Gagan. Yes.
Prabhuji, so as you told about like 3 ways to reach to this stage of bhava, so like for the third point, like having the blessings of Lord or the devotees. So how to make yourself uh, eligible for getting that blessings or that
Yeah.
mercy?
Yeah. Basically, by pleasing them in some way or the other. Um, when um, when either by pleasing them, also by our own sadhana. When we are very sincere in our sadhana, the devotees will be pleased with us. Also, it just Krishna will make arrangements that devotees will become pleased with us. In fact, everybody will become pleased with us if we just do our sadhana very nicely. Also, when we uh, take an extra mile to please devotees, then also we can win their heart both ways. When we do what they want us to do, or when they give us some service, we do it. When we are reliable in their eyes, reliable means anything they say it gets done and consistently gets done, and we kind of they depend on us in a way, or they trust us. Trust is difficult to attain. They trust us. Okay, if I tell this devotee something and it gets done, I have that faith on this. That develops over time. So in a way, when we please devotees, or when we do our sadhana very nicely, and a mix of both is the best.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, sir, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Gagan. Anything else? Okay, then last part of this chapter, ecstatic symptoms in neophytes or non-devotees. Sometimes those who are not devotees or not like maybe beginning, they may also exhibit some ecstatic symptoms. There are many so-called devotees who artificially think of Krishna's pastimes as Ashtakalya Leela. Sometimes one may artificially imitate these, pretending that Krishna is talking with me in the form of a boy, or else one may pretend that Radharani and Krishna both have come to him and are talking to him. So in this way, one may think in these manner. They may. This attachment is very confidentially kept by Krishna, and is bestowed only upon pure devotees. Even ordinary devotees cannot have such pure attachment for Krishna. What to speak about people attached to sense gratification and liberation? So ecstatic symptoms or so-called attachment to Krishna is not possible. That level of attachment and attraction for Krishna is bestowed only upon pure devotees. Even ordinary devotees cannot have pure attachment for Krishna. What to speak about people who are attached to sense gratification? So this is like um, neophyte or non-devotees, and they exhibit some symptoms. Should not be seen as okay, they have attained the stage of bhava. No. So what is that? Ecstatic symptoms. So, but if they are crying in kirtan, they see the Lord and tears come from their eyes. They are ecstatic. So what is that if it is not bhava? Then Rupa Goswami says when neophyte or non-devotees display emotions that resemble the symptoms of bhava, it is known as rati abhas, a mere reflection of bhava. Abhas means it's a reflection of bhava. It is not stage of bhava, it's a reflection. There are two types of rati abhas. There is reflective and there is shadow. Shadow is superior. We will see both. One is reflective and one is shadow. Let's see what. So reflective attachment. It's like both are like semblance of bhava but not real bhava. So reflective attachment is someone may execute devotional service with an ulterior motive for sense gratification or liberation. In this case, although the motive is correct, the practice is usually quite intense. Reflective attachment is they are very intensely maybe chanting or very intentionally very intense practice they are doing, but their motive is corrupt. They have ulterior motive. They're not doing it only for the pleasure of Krishna. Something else is there. But because the practice, the prayers or whatever is very intense, they may still exhibit some tears because of that intense practice, crying, but it is only a reflection of the real attachment. Now, why? Because the motive is not to please Krishna. So it's not pure, it's not bhav. It's not out of attachment to Krishna. There's something material in that. So that's reflective attachment. While performing devotional activities in association of advanced devotees, such a person may experience symptoms that resemble ecstasy because the genuine ecstasy of advanced devotees are reflecting upon the mirror of his heart. Another way to describe reflective attachment is like Prabhupada is there and he's exhibiting that bhava for Krishna. So somebody else is like also experiencing that bhava and Prabhupada is emanating and it's touching, that bhava is touching the others in the room and they are also feeling ecstatic. But it is like reflecting from Srila Prabhupada. So because the genuine ecstasy of advanced devotees are reflecting upon the mirror of the person's heart. That's why it's called reflective attachment. This is like this is an example of semblance. Either practice is very intense, but the motive is corrupt, or is reflecting from some other advanced devotees. And shadow attachment compared to reflective attachment, this devotional service is less intense, but the motive is not nearly as corrupt. Um, Such people may exhibit a slight resemblance of ecstatic symptoms, especially when they join kirtan, attend big festivals, visit the holy dham, or get the occasional association of saintly devotees. So there, when it is like reflective attachment, the practice is very intense, but the motive is corrupt. Um, One can, I don't need to explain what can be different motives. It can be unlimited. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says these weeds are unlimited in number. Maybe for one's glorification, for one's fame, um, whatever. Um, it can be unlimited. But the practice may be very intense. So some bhava may appear. But shadow attachment is, it is, the motive is not as corrupt. Not as corrupt. And the practice is less intense. But when it is again like a massive kirtan is going on, like sadhu sangha, big festivals, dham visit, occasional association of saintly devotees, various ways, but it is like it's a shadow attachment. Feels very good because the potency, it's a shadow which is coming from the potency of maybe the sangha, maybe the dham, um, um, maybe the devotees, some reason or the other, kirtan, so shadow. But generally, shadow is purer. Reflective may be more intense, but it has a corrupt motive. But both may develop or show some ecstatic symptoms, but both are not at the stage of bhava, it's just semblance. And these semblance are of two types. So how to transform reflection of bhava into genuine bhava, from whether it is um, pratibimba bhas or ratiya bhas, it's like one is shadow and one is um, um, reflective or shadow. How to go from a semblance of bhav to genuine bhav. The power of the devotees is the only cause of both semblances of ecstasy. If one serves these devotees, his imitative attachment can transform into genuine attachment. So Prabhupada says, by devotees' presence only one can experience bhava. But if one genuinely serve those pure devotees, exalted devotees, then through serving them, bhava can be attained. Like you were discussing the other day, also yesterday we were discussing. From Raganuga Bhakti or Vaidhi Bhakti to go to Bhava Bhakti, we need blessings of pure devotees. By our sadhana, we can get to advanced stage of sadhana bhakti, but cannot transform into bhava. That requires a whole different equation, and that's pure devotees' intervention to step us to bhava bhakti. Srila Prabhupada explains as attachment can be invoked by the association of pure devotees. So attachment can also be extinguished by offenses committed at the lotus feet of pure devotees. Prabhupada says, yeah, and they can give us Krishna, they can take Krishna away from us also. So we don't want to, we want to serve them, please them. We don't want to offend them. May not be very beneficial for us. Bhava without regulative principle. Prabhupada says, if it is seen that a person has developed a high standard of devotion without having undergone even the regulative principles, it is to be understood that his status of devotional service was achieved in a formal life. So Prabhupada says somebody may be drinking and having, whatever, breaking the four regulative principle, and still he's so much attracted and feeling bhav when he thinks of Krishna, stand in the kirtan. He's breaking regulative principle, but he has developed a high standard of devotion. He's exhibiting that. Then it should be understood that this is his formal life, Prabhupada said. It is to be understood his status of devotional service was achieved in a formal life. And that's why this life may be corrupt. Still, those symptoms are exhibiting from past life. He's continuing from past life. Basically, that I think this is the last slide. But if someone is still breaking regulative principle but have great devotion, don't judge them, because very quickly they will be on the right path or clean path and give up those bad habits and very quickly make progress and maybe exceed us many miles ahead because their past life is very strong. So attitude towards fault and devotee. Srila Prabhupada says the example is given that that on the full moon there are some spots which may appear to be pock marks. Still, the illumination spread by the full moon cannot be checked. Similarly, a little fault in the midst of the volume of devotional service is not at all to be counted as a fault. So Prabhupada says, don't see fault in devotees because the volume of devotional service they are doing, and if there is a little fault in that, because of it emits the volume of devotional service, should not be counted as fault. Just like the moon is may have some black spots, but that does not deter the moon from giving the shininess, the light to the entire earth. Likewise, these devotees, devotional service is voluminous. What all they are doing. So small mistakes will not overcome the greatness of these personalities. It's a small fish. So that should be our attitude towards faults and devotees. It's there, but it's insignificant compared to the greatness of their devotional service. That is amazing. This little fault is like insignificant. It's like spots on a moon. Cannot deter the moon from illuminating the whole earth. So that's the end of the 17th chapter. Now, are there any questions, discussions?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, so the point that you said that even though he is the devotee is corrupt in this life, he might have some prior previous life, like very high stage. So I
Yeah,
just want to know, like, why this thing happens. Like, for example, somebody is a devotee's son or like devotee's child. So if he is for sure like advanced devotee, but why he is not quickly taking those like 16 rounds, following regulative principles and all those things? Like why it is taking like for that person maybe like 20, 30 years sometime?
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, not necessary that devotees' children are great devotees. Not necessary. Srila Prabhupada, the children did not take up Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is Mahabhagavad Vaishnava. Even the Lord, when he came as Advaitacharya, some of his children of Advaitacharya, he's Mahavishnu himself, some of his sons became impersonalist Mayavadis actually, follower Shankaracharya. Or Achyutananda is like pure devotee, he's a son of Advaitacharya. So many instances, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, not all the sons were devotees. He had 9 or 10 sons. Only two. One is Saraswati Thakur, the greatest Vaishnava. Another was Lalita Prasad, great devotees. So from the history we have seen, not necessary that all the children are great devotees. And we see Hiranyakashipu, his son Prahlad was a great devotee. In general, born in devotee family is great in general, but it's not a rule, Prabhuji. Everyone will begin. Another answer is also when Krishna sees that they are favorable, um, um, Krishna will immediately spark fire all of a sudden. And we see that in the example of either Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was also like a freedom fighter. He has some devotion, and he would play, and he was a leader. He liked Jagannath, so that inclination was there. At the same time, other things were also there. But when the time was ripe, then all of a sudden he met Saraswati Thakur and he decided to surrender his life right then and there. The meeting with the bona fide spiritual master was so powerful. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, when he read Chaitanya Charitamrita, immediately ecstatic bhava emanated from his heart. But before that, he was following Vivekananda and few others also. So not necessarily they are devotees, and even if they are great devotees, not necessarily it will be kindled day one. It depends. It is kindled by the medium of spiritual master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he met Ishwar, immediately kindled. Um, but till that time, he was acting like a scholar and others. So it's a lot of mix and match, bro.
Okay, so Prabhuji, one more thing. So maybe sometimes like there might be a person who is like a good devotee in previous life, but in this life he like it's like he's waiting, not actually waiting, but like that his bhakti is waiting to get a push from either some devotee or for the right time, as you said, there will be like some right time, as like you just gave the examples of Bhaktivinoda Tagore.
Yeah.
So for the meantime, what they should do, like what they should be suggested to do, like
Well, it depends upon Lord Krishna's mercy on them, bro. When Krishna wants it to be awakened, it's not something that they can do and it will awaken. It's when Krishna sanctioned, it comes from within like a force, and they just like it's up to Krishna to drag us towards Him. From our side, devotee children, we just give them an environment in a detached way. That if Krishna inspired, they will take it up. If Krishna doesn't inspire, fine. Or when Krishna inspires in future, fine. We give them environment.
oh, okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Also, one way it is seen is you see the propensity of the children. I don't know why you're asking this question. Probably for somebody else, but it is seen like you see the propensity of the children, and they like kirtan. Then you join them to harmonium classes and various things. So based on the inclination, you encourage them to serve Krishna based on their likings, and that way they can remain with Krishna with interest. And slowly, when Krishna desires, it will just kindle.
Mm, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. One more
Siddharth.
question, expanding on just Gagan's question. So,
Hmm.
just on the fact that how you spoke about if there is devotional service in past life, in this life we are just continuing it. So, in the scriptures, is it mentioned that if we have some history of devotional service from past life, we will get birth in Bharat Varsha, or there is no such thing? And I mean, anyone from any other country can also have some previous um,
Yeah, yeah,
experience in devotional service, like how we have seen most many Americans, even they have come
yeah,
in contact with our movement. And
yeah, yeah.
uh,
So it does not say that devotees will take birth in Bharatvarsha. It doesn't say that. It
okay,
does say that those, I mean, it's like Srila Prabhupada said that people born in India are very pious. Prabhupada did mention that. Shastra, Bhagavatam also says that demons will born in South India, in Brahmana's family in South India. Demons will born in Kali Yuga, and they will born through Brahmana family. But it's not like, what I have seen. The South Indian devotees are like most dedicated and exalted devotees. I have seen, great Vaishnavas.
yeah,
But then just just the fact that somebody is born as a Brahmana in a particular place, so there's a devotee. It's not like that also. Kali Yuga is like everything is mix and match. You will see everywhere devotees. You will see
mm,
most favorable place. You will see non-devotees are born, and you will see most unfavorable place. Great devotees are born. Um,
right, right,
um, like Srila Prabhupada told about Jayapataka Maharaj that he's an eternal associate of the Lord. Most of the devotees that are there, like great sannyasis. So it can be seen that they are either a completely liberated souls. It is also mentioned that um, Lord Chaitanya spread his associates or his very dear devotees all over, so that they all can take up in their own places and spread in those areas. So no hard and fast rule on that one.
okay. You see, maybe it would have made more sense in Satyayug or Treta Yug.
It was more. It was more like according to expectation. Kali Yuga is like anything, anywhere is possible.
Right,
But
right.
one can see if they are great devotees or not, independent of where they are born or which family they are born, by the interest with which they are taking up Krishna consciousness. That's
Right.
the way.
So
They are
you need not be born in a Brahmin family or any other particular, right?
whether American, Indian, European, any part of India, any caste.
Right,
They,
because I have seen like in the US interacting with people from other countries, they're like some people, not even Indians, they have that touch of bhakti in them, but no one has given push to them, like how Gagan was saying that. I mean, we
mm,
have met such kind of people. It's just that they have not been in contact with our culture. So,
mm,
yeah,
yeah.
that was the thing. But anyway,
And they some of you or somebody can become an instrument. They will take up bhakti very quickly, and then they will help in spreading the mission locally. So Krishna kind of manifested seeds everywhere in that way.
okay, thank you. Yeah, that answers
Yeah.
my question.
Thank you.
I was just asking all these questions for preaching purposes. Like if you
Preaching,
yeah, if
amazing.
you're preaching
Keep
somebody,
great. Keep preaching.
so, so for that, like if we have like some questions, some doubts, so in that case, like how to handle those questions. That's why I
Ah,
just
amazing, bro. Thank you for your service.
thank you so much, Puji.
Spreading, spreading the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amazing. Okay. Any other question? Like that. So thank you, dear devotees, for joining. Vanchakalpatarubhesha Kripasindhubheva Patitanam Pavanam Vaishnava Ananta Koti Vaishnava and the teacher.
Prabhuji, if you have a couple of minutes, can you stay here?
Yeah.
I have some questions maybe after everyone leaves.
Oh, so Siddhant Prabhu is telling everyone to leave.
No, no, no. No, no, I'm not. I mean, maybe because it's not related to this today's topic. Uh, it was just
Yeah.
about the like the yug in which Bhagwan Ramchandra was born.
Ah,
Like I have read in a lot of places, like since we are in the 28th Kali Yuga, right?
ah.
But and I somewhere it was written that Bhagwan Ram was not born in this Kali Yuga, but he was there in 24th Kali Yuga. So I just wanted to confirm whether this finding is true or
Mm.
he actually takes birth in every Kali Yuga.
Ram, you're talking about Lord Ram. He comes in
Yes.
Treta Yuga, Prabhuji. He doesn't come in Kali Yuga.
Oh, I mean, sorry, I mean in Treta Yuga. I mean the Mahayuga basically. Was he? Did he appear in this Mahayuga or he was there in like 24th Mahayuga?
He comes in every Treta Yuga, Prabhu, Lord Ram.
Okay, okay, I see. Yeah.
Lord Krishna comes in 528th Dwapar Yuga of every day of Brahma. 528th Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna comes.
Mm,
The following Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya comes. Lord Ram comes every Treta Yuga.
I see. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanyavad.